So this is a track guide for the Redbull ring. Definitely not one of my favorite tracks, but a mate of mine that runs in the Precision Racing League with me, or PRL, wanted me to create a track guide, so I thought I would do that and share it. I'm in the fixed setup for the Lambo. I'm going to do an out lap and then maybe 2 or maybe 3 hot laps. Only because the tires get a little warmer, or as you do more laps, the tires seem to get a little warmer and more grip. But the first thing I'm going to do on the out lap is talk through the basic lines I take and where I'm braking. So I'm up to obviously 5th gear in this straightaway. I'm going to brake right at the 100 marker. I'm braking before that right now, but I'm going to brake right about here. And I brake to about 70 to 75%, and I keep it fairly consistent in that 75%. I'm straddling the line right to the very end, and you want to turn in fairly late here to get the best acceleration and therefore the best top speed down the next straightaway. Reverse is not good. So this is about the line. You want to kind of clip the apex. You can get the power up pretty early, but sometimes if you get too early, the rear wheels will spin. I think because the rear sway bar lifts the inside rear wheel off the tire, off the ground. Coming into this corner, you brake again at the 100 marker, and it's again around 70 to 75%. And then it's a fairly late turn in. You want to straddle the curb here with the inside wheel, get the power just before you get to the curb, or right at the time you start driving over the curb. And then coming to this one, you brake just before the 50. I start braking about here, and again the car is straddled. If you go too far right, I could be further right, but if you go too far right, you'll get an off track. But you could probably be about here and not get an off track. That's about as far right as you want to go. This corner is tricky, and it's a 3rd gear. I shift down to 3rd, and I'm trail braking in to get the car to point so I can get to power as quickly as possible. I happen to have triple, so I can look out the left window to keep an eye on the road down there, and that helps me gauge. But if you don't, you can just start to get used to when you look for, cues as to now it's time to get to power on exit. And about now is about right, maybe a little bit sooner. You can track all the way out. You don't want to go too far right, you'll get an off track, but this is about the right distance. Turn in a little earlier than maybe. Some guys go late. I find earlier is better. And you were in 4th, you're going to be shifting down to 3rd, and if you can play with this, but I find sometimes riding the left wheel on the curb helps get that extra bit of rotation. It's a little risky sometimes, but it tends to work. Here you can go all the way out to the edge of the green. If you hit the dirt, it's an off track. And what I see a lot of guys do is they start tracking out too soon here, and you lose just a fraction of time, but you want to make sure you stay to the right and you clip the very end where the grass is. You don't have to go over the grass, but just stay on the right and keep this as diagonal as possible, as opposed to going way out wide, because you're just covering more distance. Braking into here, again, it's the 100, is it 100? Maybe it's the 50. I'll have to see when I go around. I think it's the 50. I brake just before it. Yeah, it's the 50. And I stay in 4th. Some guys will go to 3rd to get the rotation, but I find that in 4th just allows you to carry a bit more momentum. You do lose a little bit maybe in going from the apex to the middle when you're in 4th compared to 3rd, but I think you can carry a bit more momentum in. Play with it. Now, to avoid off tracks, you can go pretty wide here, but your right tires have to be on where the green and the white rumble strip is. If your right tires are on the all green, then you'll get an off track. And then turn in for this last corner is roughly about here, and you're in third gear at this point, and you're turning in, and you can get to power right about here. Don't wait for the apex. If you're waiting to the apex, you're waiting too long, and you can carry the power in pretty strongly. And likewise on this, you can go all the way out to here. For as long as you got the right tires on the green and the white, then you won't get an off track, and you can come back this way. And then turn one, since we didn't cover it on the outlap, turn one is you brake at the 100. Again, you straddle the curb. It's about a 60, I want to say 65% braking, not fully 70, 75. And you brake initially, but then you want to, this corner's all about getting off the brakes sooner than you think. And then you roll into the corner here, and you're down to second gear by this point, and you're on throttle before you get to the curb. You may not be full throttle until you figure out how your exit's going to be, but that's how it goes. So let's just start that again. We'll do an outlap. I'll do it at pace, and you'll see what I'm talking about, and then we'll do a couple of flyers. Again, brake at the 100, about 70 to 75%. Yeah, and spin. That's good. Don't do that. That's cold tires, that's what that is. Can we try that again? This is the fixed setup. I have my own setup I use in the Open League, but my open setup is not that dissimilar to this one. It'll be better when the tires warm up. On that opening lap, you got to be careful. As you can see, even as careful as I was there, it was still a little bit loose when I put the power down. Again, braking at 100. I missed the apex there. Because again, you want to have the wheels over the curbs. Get the power. Couldn't get the power as soon as I want it there. Again, I think that's just cold tires. Let's just warm them up a bit. Off track. You see how wide I can go there? That off track was from the first one, not the second one. Or maybe it was. Maybe I did do both. I don't know. Kind of was a bit too tentative to power. If you look at my graph at the top, I got the power a little later than I probably should have.
Sector 1 is a 10th off your best. Sector 2 time is good.
You get the power soon enough. You see in the graph. Not a very good lap.
That was a 130.00. You're 2/10 off your best in Sector 3.
little better. I got the power running enough. I was a little off on my braking, but I got the power running enough.
Sector 1 is quick.
I mean, fairly decent lap. There's definitely more in it. There's a 29.5
Just
full
done a
fuel.
129.52.
I mean, I'd probably do a 3 or a 4, I think, with the fixed setup if I kept practicing it. But anyway, that's hopefully some helpful tips, and good luck with the race. Cheers.